This is your trigger warning. Today, we're discussing Pride Month from a liberal
and a conservative point of view. We will be discussing topics that may be uncomfortable for some listeners.
Your discretion is advised. But first, some farts. Yay!
Like a joke
or
man, mentally,
yeah. I still laugh at, farts.
You got the dad jokes and
why do we still laugh at shit like that? If Mike were to fart all into the microphone right now, I'd just die of laughter, and then
we tell everybody who probably didn't even know.
Like, really?
Hey, man,
you need to tune in because Mike had the most epic.
Be running out of the room.
Yeah, that came with the surgery too.
I don't know.
That's weight loss surgery.
I don't know if
That's
women.
true.
It does.
It does. It causes more gas.
Do women? It does. Do women laugh at? Let's say you and a couple girlfriends were out to lunch.
I can speak from experience.
I do, but other girls don't.
I think they're trying to act like they didn't do it. They're trying to look.
I know girls that are like, girls don't fart. But me, I'm like, I snicker.
Thank you, Mike. Oh God, I'm so jealous he gets to run that over there. Where you been? At the gym. Expelling gas. No, I thank y'all guys for having me. This is.
I've enjoyed it.
No, I really have too.
I've learned some things.
Filled JB's shoes quite nicely.
Oh yeah, man, this has been great, man. This has been fun. Well, look who's laughing. Hey, you didn't laugh. You liar.
No.
You said you lied. You didn't laugh, and we laughed.
I'm smiling.
Hotron, legendary harlot, will not be seen at this time, in order that we may bring you this utter violation of all that is good in the world.
Hey, what's going on? This is Mike.
I'm JB. This is Brian.
And I'm Jab. And you're tuned in to the Gen X Talk Podcast.
What's up, everybody? Happy Pride Month to the LGBTQIA plus folks out there. You know what? Ignore me. I've been up since 4 a.m. this morning. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Today's the first day, right?
Today is the first day. First day of June.
Well, that's what we were talking about earlier. I made the comment because earlier we were talking like, Mike's always we tease about Mike being sexual,
Yeah.
And I started really thinking about it. I know it sounds funny, but is there any celibate homos?
I don't think they want to be called that.
No, literally. I know that sounds horrible, but I'm really curious to know. Like
a little built-up energy.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, like, you were a man and you were tired of fucking women, and now you start fucking men, and now you're taking a break from that too?
Damn.
What's next?
There needs to be a transition. I mean,
there used to be. We're just jumping right into it today.
No, I'm talking about the transition from men to women.
Or women to women.
You take a break and then you dive right
Maybe
in.
somebody will leave it in the comments. I'm pretty sure there is.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
Gay folks.
What does it take to be LG, like gay?
Alphabet community.
What does it take? Yeah, that's what I call it, the alphabet community. What does it take to be recognized as that? Is it just something you can claim and say it, or do you have to do something? Or like the black community. I mean, obviously I'm a part of it. You can just look at me and tell me.
How does one apply?
Away,
Damn, I just realized that.
Yeah.
Shit.
Now, when the lights go out, I'm the same color as both of you are.
Yeah.
When the lights go out, I promise. The dark, we're all the same color.
Yeah. Maybe it's certain tendencies that you have to acquire.
I just wondered,
okay, you know what? That's actually a really good question, because there's something that I've noticed is that there is such a thing as gay gatekeeping. In my opinion, I think that being gay just means that you like to sleep with people of the same sex. But there are people out there that will say that there's more to it than just that. They say it's a way of life, and you got to be this, you got to be that, you got to be the other, you got to dress this way, you got to like that music, you got to go to these events, and it's kind of bullshit. It's kind of like being a black person when they tell you what kind of music you can listen to, or you listen to that white people shit.
I think it's like
there's a lot of that going on in the gay community, you
have to confess it, is what they basically say. You got to make sure everyone knows it.
Yeah, and from the outside looking in, I'm just like, I try not to get involved. I try not to comment on it too much. But, like I said, as a black person, I experience some of the same stuff, and it's kind of fucked up in my opinion. I think it's a little bit unfair. I think there's only one thing that makes you gay, and that's being attracted to the same sex. Period. It doesn't matter if you're a liberal, conservative, if you're a manly man, if you're a girly man. If you like to wear revealing stuff, if you dress in jeans and a sweatshirt.
A gay Republican. Do they exist?
Yeah, Christian Walker's one.
I thought you were about to say a Christian. I was going to say.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
I think the Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner identifies as a Republican as well. I mean, there's a lot of conservatives, and a lot of times they're looked down upon in the gay community.
Hold on. I got to stop you there. Just because somebody's a Republican doesn't mean that they're conservative. Because you have the conservative Republicans. You have different types of Republicans. So I'm not saying that they're not, but they're not necessarily a conservative. I don't know. I don't believe a gay person's conservative.
Do you consider yourself conservative?
No.
Out of curiosity?
Nah. I believe that that's the way I should be, and that's the right way to be. But I venture away.
I think the older you get,
but my values, yes, I believe are conservative. But like a lot of stuff today, like with the gay stuff, you can't help but to participate in certain things because you have to like, if you were part of that alphabet community, okay, and the people, as a conservative, I would think that I'm against you, I'm against that. But in business and in life, we kind of don't have that choice anymore. You know what I mean? So that's why I say I am, but you know what I mean? There's certain people we're going to be involved with that are not that, and I'm not going to just not deal with certain people because of certain issues or certain things I don't agree with, because I believe everybody does something that I don't agree with. That's the way I am.
But does that mean that you can't be conservative if you believe in one thing or not the other? Because, I mean, back in the 90s when we were growing up, the conservative point of view was the fact that we're talking about Pride Month as something that we're not just out and out bashing would be considered too liberal to be conservative. So
either you love or hate it. There's no gray area.
Yeah,
right.
I believe
back
that,
then anyway.
I believe that everybody has an agenda. So whatever the agenda is, if you're talking about that group, if you're a part of that agenda, if you agree with that agenda, then they're going to consider you that. But the agenda probably changes all the time, so it's probably too hard to keep up with.
Yeah, and
that's the reality of it. Everything changes.
So you think most of these Pride people are conservative or liberal?
I say liberal.
Oh yeah, the overwhelming majority are liberal. Like I said,
why do they feel the need to be that?
Why do they feel the need to be liberal?
Liberal, yeah. I mean, seriously.
I don't know if they feel the need to be liberal or if they're just liberal. I mean,
by nature, they're liberal.
Yeah.
What does that mean, though, by nature? Because you're born a baby.
Let's start there. There. What does liberal mean?
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to understand it.
Because I don't know either when people say, I know what liberate meant. That's what they did to us.
I think liberal is in contrast to what one would call conservative. And it's easy for me to define someone who's conservative because I'm always labeled as that, which is someone I think that believes in traditional type Christian-like values.
Family values,
that believes in, is very patriotic, that has a very patriotic look. Someone that believes in maybe a 9-to-5 or workforce, generating capital for society in a way that is very traditional, maybe perhaps.
I have a quick question.
Okay, but is it fair to suggest that a liberal is the opposite of all of those things?
No, I don't think it's a suggestion. I think it's a definition. I think they define it as the opposite. I think a liberal, this is my opinion, you guys.
Yeah.
I think a liberal is someone who takes the opposite view of a conservative, and it may be that they're more progressive in all kinds of different angles. From you can identify with whichever sex you want to be, perhaps, or you can be liberal in how you live your life. You know what governs your life. You don't subscribe, if you will, to any particular type of theory, any type of religion. You're liberal. You have a bit more of an open mind on
I believe
traditional topics. Yeah.
I believe that, like, JB kind of has a good point, but this is how I feel about everything. As a matter of fact, I know this. People that don't agree with what certain people do, they give them titles or call them things. The reason I'm saying this is you just made a description of a conservative, and you said you're conservative, yet you don't live by all of those values on a daily basis.
Well, no, I'm saying people call me conservative.
Right, people call you that. But what I'm saying is even the people who call themselves conservatives, like the way the world works today is when it's something that you don't agree with, or anyone as a human, not you personally. If a human doesn't agree with something, then they bash it. The reason I'm saying this is because I can say this because I fit into a lot of these groups. Like I'm this way when it comes to LG, we can have this thing. But if we were having something about Christianity, because I feel the same way about Christians, people can say they're this, but their lifestyle, like you can have a girlfriend live with you and you're not be married, but then you can say, hey, I believe in old school values. Or you can go meet women and take them home and say, oh, well, I did this. Or a person can say, hey, I don't believe in this, but they accidentally got this girl pregnant and while they were married and the girl had an abortion. So a lot of the things when we say we're part of these groups, to me, we're saying like, this is the way things should be. And in a perfect society, we wish we could we would like to reach toward this, but we're never going to get there because I'm not going to be gay. That's something I'm against, which, okay, I'm conservative. I don't believe in this. I don't believe in that. But there's something else that I'm going to do that contradicts the conservative belief. Mm-hmm. Get what I'm saying? There's something else that a heterosexual man, they say that's heterosexual, he's going to do something that to me may contradict. He wears pink and he's high heels. Man, that's gay to me.
Excuse me for sinning different than you do. See, a lot of people, we all fit under one umbrella, but if it doesn't fit someone's agenda, then they're up in arms about it.
Yeah.
For, what we're talking about, the gay pride, a lot of people don't realize that, here's a question. People that are gay, is it embedded in them or is it a choice?
Oh, it goes all the way in them.
I mean,
what? Wow. Can you be clear, Brian? What are we talking about here?
It got too serious for a second.
He said it goes all the way in him. Boy, that's a hell of a dude.
Is it a choice or is it DNA? Okay, sorry.
I don't think
D-I-C-K.
I don't think we know that, but we know that definitely they're not born that way. As far as when they come out, we know that they're male or female.
In the physical sense.
Right.
XXXY.
And so what else do we have to go by to draw that conclusion? Like they could say I was born this way, but it's not true. There's no way you can prove that.
Exactly.
I would say it like this.
I think people chose to be that way. If it's okay if that's what they want to do, but don't make excuses for it. I don't know.
I believe that if being gay was a choice, then every male Black Widow spider would be gay.
Every what?
Explain.
Explain?
Because they get killed.
Because when they mate with the female kills them and eats them.
So if it was a choice.
Kind of like a praying mantis.
No, Black Widows do it too. But the praying mantis as well.
Sounds cooler though, Black Widow.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, if they had a choice, I would be gay as fuck. I'm not gonna the pussy, unless Black Widow pussy is that good.
He whispers.
Yeah.
Well, I think they don't know what's gonna happen. I don't think anyone's telling them.
Okay, but it's been happening since the beginning of time, though.
Yeah, but they don't know it.
They got to know when their homeboys disappear.
Spiders.
As soon as they talk about they're about to get
Wait a second. Where did Tom go?
I personally think, and I've seen it, I do think people are born with the predisposition of being gay. I do. I think that, I don't know about are they born male or female stuff, that phenomenon escapes me, honestly. Right. I'm neutral. I don't have an opinion really, but I could tell you as far as just being a homosexual, if you will, I think that you're born that way. I think a lot of them are. I think some of it's also situational and whatnot, but I definitely think, and I've seen it, that people are definitely born gay. Yeah.
Why are men okay with women being gay when it's in their favor and then they speak against it? Because I know a lot of males that speak against like LG whatever, but the same male will brag or want his girl to have sex with him and another girl.
Okay, can I go back just for a second to what JB just said about being born that way? Because we grew up with a lot of the same people, and I'll be honest, the people that we thought were gay when we were kids all grew up to be gay. So I think there's something to that. I mean, it's almost every single one of them. And Brian probably knows some of the people we're talking about. We're not going to drop names, but
No, of course
we
not.
knew they were gay when they were kids.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
We had
go
a
ahead,
hunch.
though, please.
But were they born that way, or did something happen to them, or did they just choose
I guess
that way?
that's their
What about feminine?
cross to bear, if you
Feminine
will.
men.
I mean,
Is a feminine man the same as being gay? Mike said you have to actually, have sex with
have
men.
the act of sex.
But there was a lot of feminine men, like kind of like a Prince or something, or who possibly was not
Who
gay.
got
or
women galore.
right?
Prince had them. He mowed them down.
Yeah,
But you got
does that
also
mean that he wasn't? Does that mean that he was gay because he was feminine?
Maybe it
or-
was just his angle he was working.
Yeah,
but
it
at
could've
the
been,
same
yeah,
time,
right.
by
Fucking Prince.
I
By
can pick up a
80s
guitar
standard, though.
and then have a feminine side, and then all the women just lined up just because. Well,
Because I'm against feminine.
an
men, I'm
eyeliner
against-
was important
like,
too.
Some of the stuff JB said I agree with, because the way a male's supposed to dress, carry himself, handle himself, there's certain
Supposed
things.
to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe in that. But in today's time, even when you look at the NFL, some of the most, I'm saying brutal because of how brutal the sport is.
Cam Newton.
Boxers, the way the
Yeah.
men are dressing now,
Shannon Sharp.
all of them, it's like, are they a part of the agenda, or?
I don't see
is this-
Howie Long walking in with the capris and the man bag.
Well, it's only
you know,
certain. It's only certain. We know that it's only certain players. But what I'm saying is,
The predisposition.
does that make them? Because to me, all that's like when I see that, I'm gonna say, man, that's gay. But what I mean by that is, a man shouldn't be dressing that way. You know what I mean? He should be dressing. So I agree with JB on the. We all have certain beliefs of where we believe what people should be, but I don't know who determines what's right and what's wrong. You get what I'm saying? That's the only thing I really don't.
Well, I'm not qualified to determine
me-
that,
yeah.
but
Like, who sets the
I
standard
got
for
you.
America?
The society
when we
has
have-
what you should be per se,
Mm.
and then people cross that threshold, and then we have questions. you
Right.
know?
Well, it all,
And that's what I think gay pride is about. I might be wrong. Mike is probably the person that knows the most, but I think it's a month.
A celebration
Where
of
these people-
individuality
Yeah.
that you can.
Be who you are.
Be who you
Exactly.
are.
You don't have to worry about society's limitations and, placing you in a box and, just enjoying who you are, what you are, whatever that entails,
And is that
There's a-
okay? Do you believe that's okay?
Personally, people are entitled, to do and act the way they feel.
I agree.
As long as people are happy,
And not hurting other people.
respectful, you know what? Do you, buddy? Ma'am?
This is all I want to know. That's how I feel.
well,
Even though I don't agree with
Exactly.
being gay.
You may not
I
agree
believe that.
with some of the things they stand for,
Right.
but as long as, when's the last time you could see 100,000 people get together and not some shit pop off? I mean, these people have a good time.
They do.
Nothing really, you don't hear about.
And they have a higher percentage of marriage and successful marriage. Like now that they're allowing them to be married.
shit, I know the answer to that. They got no crazy ass woman to deal with. Fuck, you can't. Shit.
Even the two women.
Well, I mean,
That's-
They cancel each
What
other
I'm
out.
saying is that
She's crazy and so is she.
What I'm
Two
saying
women
is-
trying to be men, you know.
the values that the heterosexual community has, from what I've seen, the homosexual community or bisexual, they seem to, even though they're homosexual, they seem to have those, like the housing structure, the marriage, the unity, the having jobs, and I think that's why they're allowed or so favored by, I guess, our government or whatever, because they're producing right now.
I hate to keep bringing
Right.
up Dave Chappelle, but, he was right about
Shout out to Jay Chappelle.
the group of people. They have their shit together, and
They're organized.
The movement.
They're organized.
Well, can I make a point? Sure. It's a very small group. You can't look at it that way because they're very small. I mean, the majority amongst all gay people, a minor percentage of them are even married together. I mean, so when you look at it, it's like, okay, you pick a gay couple, and you look at it and go, well, they're successful. But I mean, there's very few of them. Most of them are not married. In fact, most of them don't believe in actual marriage. Most gay men that I know they enjoy just having as many sexual partners as possible, even outside of marriage.
Shit, that's heterosexual men too. Shit.
That's just because they're men.
A lot of open relationships.
Yeah, no, I get it. No, you're right. But I'm just making that point.
What I'm saying is percentage-wise.
But it's
percentage-wise, meaning if there's a small percent of them, if there's only 100 of them and there's 1,000 of us, and out of 100 of them, 50 is married, that's only 50 people, but that's 50%. And out of 1,000 of us, maybe 20 or 30%. I'm saying that far as their group, which I don't have all the numbers here, I'm just saying overall, but it seems like they're like in harmony, they're living good. But because a lot of them weren't allowed to be married. They're just now recently.
Well, that's just it. I don't think there's enough evidence. I think that hasn't been around long enough. I mean,
how long does it have to be around to
at least 50 years? Think about it, because there's couples that have been married 50 years that if you roll back the clock, back in the older days, there's always going to be the debate on.
We're talking about Gen X.
No, I know, but
baby boomers at this point. I mean, they're slowly dying off. People aren't married for 50 years anymore. So
but Gen X.
Well, there you go. What he just said, people aren't married for 50 years anymore. Well, that would define marriage isn't a success. If you're not going to stay married for life, and that's my point. We don't really know. And I'm not debuting what you're saying. I'm just simply saying we don't really know because they haven't been around long enough.
Well, I'm just saying that they're the ones that are married. I'm just saying there's a higher percentage in their community that are married. I don't know how long it's going to last. But then our community.
Well,
how many of us are married? There's 4 of us here.
Shit, I ain't married.
I'm not either.
But I can tell you right now,
I'm on my way again.
Okay. And we got 2 people possible. So we got 4 men and none of us are married. So that's 0%. And I'm saying that the homosexual community has a higher percent than that.
Then what we're learning is to have a successful marriage, we'll be able to have as many sexual partners as we want.
No, well, I mean, they do that.
Shit.
Sold your royal oats before you.
But they're doing it everywhere. It's just like.
Yeah, but they're doing it in a marriage that's okay. In their marriage that's okay.
It's okay. It's okay in the Christian community.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. The pastor does it all the time.
No, they do it, but they don't do it. It's not okay.
It is okay.
No, they don't embrace it openly in the Christian
religion
community.
are we talking about here?
So this is the difference.
Catholics.
This is the difference.
Close your ears.
The difference is this. The gay community is open about what they're doing, and other people are doing it behind closed doors. But what is the difference? And I think that is the only difference.
The embracing of it, in the culture, in the church culture. I mean, I know you'll agree with this. Well, you don't have to, but I'm just saying, like in the Christian church culture, monogamy is what's embraced.
It's what's embraced.
It is.
It's what the book says.
Well, yeah, that's what the belief system.
But if you go to churches, the percentage of people that are married is very low, especially in black churches. It's very low. If we could go right now to any church in Fort Worth, which is where we all live in Fort Worth, right?
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yeah. Sure. Oh, yeah.
We can go pick each one of you, line up churches, and we'll go visit them, and we'll see that there's going to be a majority of single women in the church. And if you go check with the people, you're going to find out that the pastor has been caught sleeping with at least one member in every church, and he's still the pastor.
I don't think
she's still the pastor.
Deacon Jones.
I don't think that's. This is. I may jab.
I guess the question is that representative of every church?
No.
Do we need to test that?
No.
Yes.
It is not representative of every church. It's just it's sensationalized by the few churches that it gets sensationalized.
So what's the difference in the gay community with certain things?
Well,
the only reason I'm using the church. The only reason I'm using the church is because I know that there's people that are for the church, but they're against the LBG community. And when you hear me talk, anybody that's watching the show can listen to the energy and they can see the response. That's the only reason I'm doing this. Yeah. I'm basically saying that these people are no different. It's just a matter of what you agree with.
Yeah, but
I feel the same way about gays that I feel about Christianity.
Yeah, but we're springboarding.
Somebody else likes Christianity, doesn't like gays. Someone else likes gays, doesn't like Christianity. So people's
But we're talking about marriage. And the successes. I'm not saying you didn't say anything negative.
I'm not talking about successive. I just said
we're talking about
higher percentage of them that are married compared to us. That's what I said.
I think that's wrong.
Okay.
No, I don't think that's correct. I think that, number one, I don't think we even know the percentages of gay people because a lot of them still don't come out. Number one. Number two.
I'm saying the ones we know. We don't know the percentage of anybody.
No, but I'm telling you, and I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying in the sense of this church, marriage, and gay, successful marriages and gay relationships, I don't feel like the evidence has been around long enough to support the data that gay people in their gay marriages are more successful than traditional marriages. Is all I'm saying.
I'm not even saying that they're more successful. I'm saying that there's a higher percentage of them getting married since they've been allowed to versus us getting married. I'm not even talking about Christians versus them. I'm talking about
Society.
the alphabet people versus the non-alphabet people. I'm saying that when you look at their society, the way they're living, the things you named, working, contributing to society, those type of things that you said that like conservatives believe in.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, besides the fact that they're gay or whatever, I'm trying to like this.
Oh, by the way, I figured out what a celibate homo was.
Oh shit!
A Catholic priest.
Oh,
Just hit me. No, literally, it hit me in the head. I was like, "That's."
but you see how you can make.
Well, in the Catholic community, they're
but
not
you
so
see-
much celibate because.
But do you see how you made that joke?
Yeah.
But that's the same thing I'm saying. So that's the church. So it's just what I'm basically saying is it's been accepted by certain groups when it's people that certain people love, they accept things. And when it's people that they don't agree with, then they use that as a reason to discredit them. And that's all I'm saying. So when we got to talking about liberals versus conservatives, what I'm basically saying is everybody's doing the same shit. It's just that some people are talking down on others because, okay.
Yeah, but in the gay community, that's accepted. In the gay community, by and large, it's okay for two males that are married to have multiple partners. In the traditional conservative type marriage, it's frowned upon. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm not excluding it. I'm saying it's frowned upon. It's taboo by and large still to this day.
Well, I didn't know that. I can't say this is the thing, and I'm not disagreeing with you. It's just that your argument, when you say something, you give statistics. When I say something, you say, well, they haven't existed long enough. It's not enough of them for us to have that data. So how's it enough of them for you to say what you say? When you justify you tell me this. How can you justify it?
No, what I'm talking about, I'm talking about what I'm talking about is the success of marriage. What I mean is how can we define that two people stay together for life?
Oh, I'm not even saying that.
No, that's what I was saying. What I'm saying, just to be clear, so then you can make your comment, is that's all I'm saying is the success of marriage is until death does you part. To me, that's my opinion. And
well, if it's the death do you part, then
maybe it's the quality, not the quantity of years.
A person can cheat and you're still going to stay together.
No, that's right. Yeah, right.
So what's the difference in the multiple partners?
No, I'm not saying there's a difference. What I'm trying to say is we don't know yet. There's not enough data in my opinion.
The data pool hasn't been
to say that
it's only been accepted in the last 20 years.
Yeah, like in other words, homosexual men haven't been together for 50 years plus yet. By and large,
they just kept it quiet because
there's not enough data to support that it would.
All I'm
society
saying
is just now accepted.
I believe that a higher percentage of homosexual people are getting married versus straight people. Straight people are not getting married. I guarantee you've lived with a woman or a woman's lived with you and you weren't married. I've done it. We don't get married. We probably been married, but we're not going to get married. We're going to chill. Well, it's just reality.
Do you think that part of that is because it's only been in the last 20 to 25 years that the LGBT have been able to get married, that they value marriage a little bit more than straight people? Because nowadays, for a lot of us, I sometimes ask, well, I don't ask myself the question. I see other people asking the question.
You better watch what you say, engaged, man.
Be careful.
But what's the value in getting married anymore?
You saw my post. It said there is no value for the men. It's not a benefit for.
Well, you're asking that question, Mike. Are you gay or straight?
I'm straight.
Okay, so you just support Jab's theory. Really, you just literally said, what is the purpose of getting? I mean, that just nails his point. Whereas straight, I mean, it does. Where straight couples are not as and I agree with that, by the way. Yeah, don't agree. There's not a motivation to get married anymore. Where conversely, what he's saying, and I actually agree with this, that gay couples have this ambition to get married, but I also think the reason for it,
which is the conservative values.
Yeah, but I think it's because the straight people are going, look, you motherfuckers, we've already got a history of being miserable. If you two motherfuckers want to go ahead and go along with it, go ahead.
The fact that they can get married and be accepted, I think more are lined up to get married and make it public and make it official. Now
I
that
have to hide it.
now that society has accepted for the last 20, 25 years, now they can come out
Yeah.
per se.
But when I'm
And
saying
then,
it,
you know,
For the record,
I'm just saying because of when we say conservative and liberal, why I was bringing up what I was saying is we call them liberal, we could call, let's say we're conservative. More of them are getting married, which is a conservative value, and more of us are just playing the field. We're not going to say that. Like you said,
No, I don't
behind closed
disagree
doors.
with that comment at the
That's all. That's all I was saying from the jump, and that's what I'm. And so when we talk about conservative and liberal, I just think that when we don't like something as humans, especially Americans, that's just what they're known to do. Especially the people who are in the higher society,
we're judgmental.
very.
Very.
But we don't really look at ourselves and say, and that's a difference. See, I'm not like that. I can honestly just tell you all, I just don't believe in that shit, so I don't like it. I'm not going to sit here and try to justify what they do versus what I do because I may drink and a person that's homosexual may not believe in drinking, or I may have 2 or 3 girlfriends and they may only have one, or we can't say that what they're doing is wrong and what we're doing is right if we're both doing something that is, and I'm not saying anybody's doing anything, but if we are doing something that is against, conservative values or Christian values. What makes them worse because they're openly doing it instead of saying, "Oh, I'm cheating behind closed doors. Oh, I'm messing with the kids."
You have to respect a
Behind closed
person that
doors.
can just do what they want to do out front like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
I do.
instead of hiding behind the cloth or
I
whatever you want to say,
I respect that.
to someone to openly come out and say what they want or do what they want.
That's what I do. Man.
Even if it's something you disagree with, the fact that they can come out and be open with it,
Yes,
be bold like that, tip of the hat
takes
to
a
them.
lot of courage.
And that's why
Exactly,
I
because you
have
don't
a
know what
problem
kind of
with gay
pushback you're going to get.
Right.
Not everyone is accepting, obviously.
Hell no.
And, it's pretty safe to say that everyone in this room is open to, interpretation.
I know I ain't gay. If that's what you wonder.
No.
You got to interpret nothing. Okay, my ass is
not the
straight.
gay aspect, but the fact that people can be, what they want to be, and then we're accepting.
Hey, I want.
Yeah. My heart is open, but my booty's closed.
I want ass in my face without any
Put
speed
that on a
bumps.
t-shirt.
I'm not for it or supporting it. I'm not even going to sit here in front with you. I'm not supporting it. I'm against it. It's just that
Against being gay, you mean?
I'm
I
writing
just
that down,
think
Mike.
that that's not the way to go. And what I'm not for is, but I'm okay that that's not my belief is what I'm saying. Because in my life, I'm against a lot of things, but if it works for those people, then they do it. I just don't think that it should get, like we were talking earlier, and I'm going to say this on here. Is it okay? No, Mike. Is it okay for me to say the F word?
Preamble.
You're gonna get us kicked off of
Okay.
YouTube.
Okay, this is what I was basically
I think I
saying.
get
You
kicked
can call.
off.
I'm gonna say this.
Fine.
You can call a black person a nigga on Facebook, whether you spell it with an ER or A. You can call a woman, whether black or white, a bitch
Yeah.
on social media,
Or cunt.
and it's okay.
Whoa.
Cunt, all of these different things. But if you use the F word, you will get blocked. These are the things.
I'm not trying to be extra. What F word are we talking about?
Faggot.
Okay, thank you. I just want to be clear on it.
You don't.
Well,
okay.
Well, the thing is, I'm not saying, and what I'm saying is that these are the reasons that I think get people to where they don't like the community or mad at the community or prejudice against the community is not necessarily that the people have their way of life. It's that you want other people to respect your way of life in a certain way that you don't even have to respect our lives. And that's just more what I don't agree with. Like a person should be able to call a person whatever they want.
Who sets that standard, by the way?
Facebook.
Social media.
I don't
What
know.
words- Zuckerberg has what words are acceptable, what's
I
what's
just
not,
don't-
and it's
I
like you
just don't
said.
get
Some
how
words
you can
are-
call me a nigga, and which I don't care if you call me a nigga. That's a word. I don't give words that kind of power. But you could call me one. I could call you one. I could call my brother one. It's fine. And a woman could be here, or a man. We could call him a bitch.
in a perfect world, people
But if
would
I
hold
call
themselves
you
to a standard
faggot-
where words are words, symbols are symbols. You give them power,
right?
not the vice versa.
Yeah, I think I'm not.
And you said, we've talked about this before, society has gotten to a point where sensitivity takes over and people allow those words and symbols to affect them
exactly
in a way where, now granted, the feeling and intent behind it is one thing.
Right.
The word and the symbol is another. Mm-hmm. What are you going to allow to affect you? Or, do you pick and choose your battle? I mean, there's certain things worth fighting for, then there's certain things that...
I know this. Like I said, as a child, I was raised like, if a white person call you nigger, man, you better whoop their ass. Like, you don't let no... And if I lived by that, I'd probably go to jail. But the truth is, I haven't really been called that by a white person. I mean, if I have, it was probably behind my back or something, or maybe in the 90s or something. But I've only been called this word by people who look like me. So as I got older, I started to realize, like, it's not really, you know what I mean? Like, this shit don't really matter. Like, there's people dying.
Would it offend you more if someone were to be in your face with it or just behind your back?
Yeah, if somebody's in my face being aggressive, like where I feel threatened, that's different. But like your parents probably taught you this, mine. As long as words don't hurt you, as long as they don't put their hands on you. That's the way I really live by that. Because people are always going to say something bad about you personally, or your race, or, the higher you get up the ladder. JB, you get to owning businesses, you get popular in movies, you're going to have more people that have access to you. You get what I'm saying? So there's going to be more people like P. Diddy speaking their opinion. So the higher you go up, if I'm not mistaken, you can't even really sue people for slander and stuff, because once you become like a celebrity, you're open to this. It's part of the...
The only way you can sue for defamation is if
it affects your business or your income or something,
Does it also have to not be true? Like, isn't that a requirement before you can
But
be
who
sued?
can say if it's true or not? But you get my point.
No, it doesn't have to be. It's not a matter of what's right or wrong, or what is true or accurate. It's about damages,
right,
and how it was displayed.
But like if you're a regular person and somebody at work does this or your boss does this, you could probably sue the company or file a grievance or something. But what I'm saying is, once you become at a certain level, like a celebrity, then you're open to these things automatically. I think I'm correct in saying that.
Yeah.
And so my point in saying it is that should tell you part of elevation in life is certain things you have to learn to let go. So I'm not going to fight somebody over some words. I'll just say something back. Like, I don't know. The stuff just doesn't bother me.
What was it for the record, Mike?
I've completely forgot what I was about to say. Oh yeah, for the record, back when I was a kid, man, I used to run around the neighborhood with this big ass Confederate battle flag. And it was because I didn't know what the fuck it meant or what was behind it. I just thought it was a cool flag because it was on the
Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, I like the Dukes of Hazzard.
The General Lee.
So, that's one of those things where, those symbols don't have any power until you give them power.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, even today, I don't give a fuck about a Confederate flag. It's an eyebrow-raising deal whenever I'm driving down the highway and I see one. It's like, well, what kind of motherfuckers live in that house? But overall, the flag itself, it's never really been something that bothered me.
I think the same way with the community that we're talking about. I think that the people that are the people that are in charge, let's say, are the conservatives. I think people are more afraid of these people taking power than actually against the act of what they're doing. You all get what I'm saying?
Because they don't know. It's a fear of the unknown. People fear what they don't understand. So, and this goes back to a generation before us and then before them. If they don't understand what the hell's going on, they're automatically offended by it, or they're afraid. Exactly. They don't know what it represents.
You know what? Can I make an interjection?
Go ahead. Yeah.
I don't think that's the case by and large. I think people know exactly what's going on. They just don't like it. And when people don't agree with something, that's right. When people don't like something,
they want to kill it or destroy it.
Right. They know what's going on. And I'm not repeating what you're saying. I get that. I think that's a little outdated with this. I think people, by and large, know what's going on. They're not scared of it. They just don't fucking agree with it. And because they don't agree with it, they want to, and because history will show you that when there's one body of people that don't agree or don't accept, they go after and attack and conquer. And I don't think they're scared of it. I think they just don't like it.
I think they're ignorant by default because they're not exposed exposed, so they automatically are, you know, on the defense.
Right.
And
Yeah.
When I say scared, I'm talking about scared of these people taking over. Meaning, like,
Yeah.
when black people were slaves, white people are scared as fuck back then. If black people ever get the power, that damn, they might do to us what we did to them. This community, I mean,
Birth of a nation.
you say they're small, but based on what I see on television and it feels like they're very big, and they might not be. I don't know. And I feel that people are scared. What I'm saying is
Go ahead.
the
Sorry, I'm hearing.
conservatives-
I hear Mike's rustling, and I thought something was
hear that?
breaking over here. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was like, "What's that?"
No,
noise?
I heard it too. What I'm saying is, I believe the conservative male who has dominated America for a very long time is a white male, to be exact, is afraid of these communities like this getting bigger and bigger and possibly becoming the majority. Because if they become the majority, they can take over. I mean, that's the fact. And so when you say
Yeah.
they conquer them, the reason from Europe
Yeah.
to Africa to Asia, the reason they've always conquered people is to keep the power. But with laws and with this, it's getting to a point where this group of people
numbers alone.
is protected.
Yeah.
And if these people stay protected, everything that you're, let me take, not you. I'll say
No,
you,
I know what you
because
mean.
you were too conservative.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not even going to say you.
I got
'cause
you.
don't-
No, that's all right.
I'm looking at
I know what you mean.
Yeah, everybody that's a conservative, that has a conservative belief, is threatened by this because, damn, my daughter's going to have to live with this shit. Damn, these people who's my daughter going to marry? Damn, what is my son going to do?
You think
And they want to destroy this, but you really can't because they're powerful and laws are just,
a lot
I
of
mean, they've surpassed my race. As far as a minority, they've surpassed the black
a
race.
lot of people that have that mindset, I think, are dying off.
That's
The
true.
baby boomer generation
That's true.
that is more set in their ways, obviously, are not as accepting of, you know, the change,
Yeah, that's true.
changing of the guard, if you will. What goes on in society now, whether it be the alphabet community or any outside of the norm, it's becoming more accepted. And the fact that people that are, you know, they're the minority now, the people that have a mindset of it's kind of narrow.
Conservative.
Yeah, very conservative. Conservative now, I mean, honestly, the older I've gotten, I've gotten more conservative with traditional values, family, morals, things like that. But things when it comes to society, I do believe I'm very open-minded when it comes to a lot of things. I don't know what that makes me now.
Yeah, I got you.
but-
I'm kind of like that. too. I vote
Outside of my
conservative.
four walls, you know, I believe I'm very open-minded. But when it comes to,
in your home.
in your home, what you teach your kids,
Yeah,
and let's face it, that's where it all starts, at the dinner table.
Yeah.
That's all we're here for.
I
is
agree
to
with you there.
we prepare our children for things that happen outside of our house. And if you don't, they're doomed to repeat some of the mistakes that, you know, our folks, you know, had made in the past, you know, not being open-minded. But yeah, I mean, it's evolving,
Yeah.
you know, and,
Hypocrisy is getting exposed too. That's another, ever since COVID, everything, Trump, that's why I like Trump so much. Everything's been getting exposed. Like people in high places, the crooked stuff that they're doing, it's getting exposed. And I think that's I think it's a great thing, but I think that's another thing, our generation, where I think it fucked us up because
they definitely
we
set the
know
country
good and
back.
well that we saw negative shit. I'm not saying you all did exactly in your home, but everyone knew, I'm going to say, not everyone, but the majority knew a girl maybe that was getting molested. You knew a family, somebody cheating, somebody on drugs, but we were taught then, like JB said, it was not accepted. We were against it. So when it did happen, we were taught not to say anything. At least that's how I was taught. I was always,
Keep it in house.
What goes on in this house stays in this house. And it didn't necessarily mean my house. It could have been in my grandmother's house, my uncle's house, but
Or within the family.
yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
We didn't. So and a lot of those things as kids growing up, a lot of these people that are in the LBG community, a lot of us that maybe drink, a lot of people maybe that sell drugs, or maybe that use drugs, or maybe that fornicate, or that are adulterers. As a child, they saw these things. And so now, even though mama hid it, daddy hid it, you weren't supposed to say nothing. Now that they gotten older, the only difference in this community here and Gen X down is that everybody's bold now. They don't give a fuck.
Well, that's because
I don't gotta hide shit from you.
It's two reasons.
You did it.
Yeah, but here's the problem.
That's the only difference.
Here's the problem. As a society, this is the biggest issue.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, number one, I think we have a soft society. So it's getting softer.
Okay.
And because I think we're softer, because there's so much liberation now where it's like, fuck, you offend anybody if you look at them sideways.
Yeah,
if you sneeze at them, you offend people.
See, that's what I want to get rid of.
Well, the thing is, in order to get rid of that, you have to have some sort of imposing outlook that a mass majority agrees with.
Mm-hmm.
And
Good luck.
that's just it. So like me, I'll tell you, I'm not so open and easy. I'm not. I'm not a mean guy. I'm progressive in a lot of ways. But when it comes to this country and who we are, by God, we need to fucking stand up. We need to create more men, more individuals that want to back and support this country and fight for this country, because there's a ton of other countries that want to take this country over. And I think what we're doing is we're breeding within so much political drama that I'm not saying it's unimportant, but if you want to live with the utmost sense of liberation in a second or third world country, that's what America will eventually become.
Mm-hmm.
And I promise you, when it gets to that point, everyone's going to look back and go, why?
How the fuck did it get like this?
Yeah, it's because we're soft as fuck. That's why. And that's what it is. And I'll say this and then make your comment, but my point is I feel like that there's nothing wrong with supporting someone's ideals. There's nothing wrong as long as it's not harmful to society. In other words, people aren't murdering, killing, everyone's keeping it on. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm fine with that.
Right.
Do I say I support everyone's views and beliefs? I mean, not necessarily, but I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's how I am.
I'm not going to let it doesn't bother me, and I'm good to them. They're good to me. I'm cool, man. I'm a cool guy. I'm an easy guy. But when it comes to what you're going to impose on me and how I have to dance around a topic or what I can or can't say, what you're trying to do is you're trying to create me to become now soft. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to be. And I think the more strong, outspoken men, because I know women hate when I say this, it's a man's world. I don't care if you like it or not. It is what it is. We're the protectors of this world. And if we're going to keep our country safe and protected, we have to be able to come together with some sort of unified view on how we stay strong and unite together. And this softness is what the fuck's getting us broken down.
I think the word that stood out to me, what you just said, was imposing. Mm-hmm. When people impose their will on others, or forcing their point of view on others, that's a problem. Just because, and we're
since day one.
It's what it is. Society, people, groups, they try to impose their will, their thoughts onto others. Christians are horrible at this. I'm not saying witnessing is imposing, but when people are trying to
making laws that are based entirely on religion.
Or just even day to day, when you condemn somebody who doesn't believe what you believe.
You can't, I said before, excuse me for sinning different than you. If I have a different point of view, that's okay.
Yeah.
But don't impose what you're trying to push on me or put it down my throat.
Mm-hmm. And that's
there's a thin line between having a point of view and then trying to just totally jam something down someone's throat to make them believe what you believe.
Yeah, they're not going to.
And JB's word, imposing.
That's what I agree with.
I think we'd come together better as a society. Like you said, this generation, me and Mike had this conversation before, and I think y'all have touched this before on a previous show about this generation of men have become a little bit softer. And that may be a different subject altogether, but that stems from a lot of broken homes now, women raising men.
Exactly.
You know what's interesting, if I may?
No, go
I'm
ahead.
curious of your psychology, if it's okay. When you said men, you did the quotes. What does that mean?
Well,
You mean that
well, when
we're
I
not
put-
allowed to say that now?
No.
Or, like, what is it?
This generation of men, and I put quotes, and maybe I shouldn't have.
No, I'm
but
not judging you. I'm just curiously wondering.
when you had put it, stronger men. This generation of men are lacking a lot, and it's not their fault. Of course, kids are raised a certain way.
Yeah.
But as numbers have shown, and I don't have, percentages, but we know that the broken home is more of a normal than it was 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Exactly.
So when you don't have both parents raising their children in said home, it weakens the individual, I believe. I cannot raise a girl to be a woman.
Right.
I don't have
And sometimes it's
the
not in
insight.
broken
Just
homes either.
and that's
It's just the fact that food and shit is expensive, and both parents have to work so much.
and that's another subject.
It's not always
the
the
baby
broken
boomers
home.
had the woman at home to tend to the home life. The man you have one income, and they would live comfortably.
Or they could both work but not have to work a lot. The woman didn't have to work,
Yeah, the
all
woman
time.
could just work part time.
Yeah,
but for
well,
the most part.
Good luck with that now.
Oh yeah, not a chance.
But men, and going back to
Yeah.
the quote thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think today's man is lacking a lot of basic, general,
Manhood.
Man skills.
manhood. Oh, yeah, skills.
Man
And
skills.
manhood as well.
Okay.
Let's,
The difference in maleness and manhood.
honestly,
We have a lot of males and not actual men.
honestly, when it comes to the broken home, a lot of single parents are mothers. The majority are mothers, the single parents, especially in the state of Texas. It is hard for a man to gain, custody of said child. So the woman is responsible for raising men, especially if the man, the father, is not in the picture.
Does that create feminine men?
Yes, I believe it
Is
does.
that where you're going with it? I'm just curious.
Yeah.
So you think that's why there's more feminine men now because of perhaps they're being raised by single mothers?
I do.
Man, I think it's.
Does that mean they're gay? Or are they just taking
Well, according to
adaptations?
Mike,
you can be feminine and not be gay.
yeah.
I mean, at the same time, you can be gay and be really, really masculine.
Be manly.
I've met both. I mean, they're out there.
No.
But what he said about being feminine, I think that there's something to that. I think a part of it, I mean, look, some of it is just that men today are being raised to have a little more empathy and to be a little more conscious of their own feelings and whatnot. And some of that's good. But yeah, we have taken that to an extreme level a little bit, I think, too. To the point where, and I think a lot of that is being raised by only a mother, but another big part of that is social media.
That's
today.
what I believe it is.
That
How many of us had a father?
boys don't have contact with other boys in their neighborhood. They're
Right.
talking to
That's the
whoever they're
difference.
talking to on the internet.
Right.
And, we grew up in Texas. So we see manliness in a whole different way here. But a lot of people, growing up in San Francisco, you might see something a little bit different growing up in Boston or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were growing up, we didn't have access to all of that.
And a lot of houses, and I only know this from mentoring kids, a lot of times there are both parents in the house, but they're in the house. You get what I'm saying? It's a
Yeah.
difference in what you're teaching your children and being in the house. If mother and father are both in the house, but they're always running, they're always doing stuff. How often the kids are in the bedroom, on the phone, on the game. The mother's in here on the phone. The dad's in the yard mowing. I don't know, whatever. They're not raising them, teaching them certain things. COVID played a big role in a lot of things, the way
That
society
set back a lot of.
and then also, like in the black community, it's kind of like the church. The church is what ruled everything. So if you went there, you learned this, this, and this. But if you didn't go there, shit, you never know. You get what I'm saying? And I think it's easy for us to say the single woman, and that does have a lot to do with it. But there's plenty of homes with single women, and the men are doing good. They might have had a different man in their life, maybe not their father, maybe an uncle, maybe this. And there's plenty of people with 2-parent homes
still
that are
lacking
living fucked up.
yeah.
Bro, I don't want to bring up personal, but
No.
in my family, you know 2 people that were raised in the same house, even slept in the same bed. One male is this way, one male is that way. Totally different beliefs and everything. What are you going to blame it on? Sometimes we got to just say people have to take responsibility.
Eventually, when you get to a certain age, you
for
make
themselves, and we love to try to. Oh, I think it was this, and it could be, but also you can't. Right now, if I get caught selling drugs, I'm 45. I can't stand before the judge and say, "Well, I came from," which I didn't, but my dad wasn't around, and we didn't have nobody to teach me nothing.
there comes
Lock
a
'em
time
up.
to where you're
So
accountable for your actions,
right.
and
And there's people who have 2 parents, and the dad was selling drugs, so the dad taught the son. Like we have to just take responsibility for what we do.
I agree, because not a lot of families out there, they're single moms, and it's not all drug related. Like, I'm not saying you're saying that.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, there's just a lot of
or gay. It's not gay either.
a lot of that. I think the biggest issue is, and people don't want to say this, but I'll say it, is because you don't subscribe to one theory. I said back, and there's a lot of debate, and there's a lot of issues. No matter what theory you subscribe to, there's going to be bad shit that happens under that theory. But right now, the problem, I think, or an issue or whatever, the objection is that right now as American, we don't all see eye to eye. Everybody has their own way of thinking and believing. And now we're all just this, and a lot of us are in this neutral stance of, well, I don't really know. I don't really care. I mean, as long as they don't fuck with me.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem. We all stay to ourselves. We don't keep each other accountable. And there's no governance, no centralized belief system anymore that people believe in that keeps a society together. And that's the problem. So because of that, everybody has their own ways of thinking, and the way to think now, the what is allowed now is that go ahead and think what you want to think because you're protected by society to do so. And now everyone's kind of running rampant, and there's no collective group anymore to be able to be one big voice. And that is the reason I think there's so much division and so much broken.
the
brokenness.
last time I think we came
true.
together as a country was 9/11.
Yep.
It takes some gigantic traumatic experience to come together, but like you said,
And they still
the country
and
had-
they hated Arabs, so it still was kind of bad.
We just collectively
we
hated
came
someone
together
else.
and then aimed
I
our
know-
hate somewhere besides ourselves or people within this country. We
They're
came
all
together
majority.
as a country to hate another country.
I practiced Islam at that time.
Well,
I remember it was very hard to get
And
to the airport.
well, what you have when that happened too
my name.
is you have the silent majority, which I believe is an actual thing. You have a lot of your conservative people that don't hoop and holler mostly.
Right.
That when that shit happened, now they're woke. They're like, fuck this. This is our country. We're going to fight this shit back. And so I think that when 9/11 happened, your people that are by and large, in my opinion, it's just an opinion.
It
right?
woke them up.
Yeah, because that particular group is the fighting fucking group. That conservative group, by and large, in my opinion, are protectors, or fighters, or warriors.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Why would
It's
it
They're the
a-
ones that went and destroyed everybody and
Why
took
did it
everything.
have to
Agreed.
take
Yeah. I can't say that's.
a tragedy like that though for those people to wake up?
I think
No,
they created
they're
it.
not. That's not what it is. They're always woke. They're not allowed to talk. The silent majority is being silent forcefully. They're not allowed to say, "I don't believe in gay. I don't believe in
without
this."
getting people
can say
offended and
I said it today.
It
I
don't matter if they're
believe in it.
offended or not. They have the right to offend.
I just said it. I don't believe in
but
it.
you don't have the right to offend.
Always, yeah.
You see what I'm getting at?
This is what I believe. I believe that we need to allow people to practice what they want. People want to be LBGT, they should be allowed. But I also believe if we want to say something against it or about it, we should be able to do that too. If people want to be in a church or Muslim, whatever religion they want, they should be able to do that.
Yeah.
But if people are against it, they should be allowed to speak, and it should be okay. I think everybody's sensitive, bro, because it's just that it's who you agree with. Because every time I say something about Christianity, Christians get upset. I asked a question on social media the other day. I said, hey, if P did Christians to the Christians, if P Diddy asked for forgiveness, is he forgiven? Motherfucker, nobody really answered the question. What does he have to do with Christian? Hell, that's what your religion says. So I'm asking you.
the golden
Because in
rule.
my opinion, fuck him. He's never, after I saw a video, oh man, I'm against you, brother. I was on his side at first. Anyway, I would never forgive him. If that was my daughter, fuck that dude. But I was asking the Christian, like, hey, is this what you all believe? Because that's what I was taught. Motherfuckers got mad at me.
That's because no one believes in the same shit anymore.
But why would you get mad at me for asking you a question? If that is that what you're like, basically, because that's what I believe the religion says, and I want to know who actually agrees with it. Because a lot of
you believe in it, some sort of theology. You believe in that, and that makes you the bad guy now.
Yeah,
you're now the bad guy because you have some sort of godly belief system.
Yeah, I just believe
that's what it is.
Yeah,
if you speak loudly about that, you're the bad guy.
Well, I just want people to think about certain things like. Okay, a lot of people, basically what I try to get my point across is a lot of people who say they believe in this religion, I feel they really don't. And they get upset with other people who may say they don't believe in this religion. But the people who don't believe in the religion, if you look at their lifestyle, it more follows the religion or Jesus or whatever than the people who say they believe. But just because you don't believe this particular thing, oh, you're going to hell. So a lot of times I ask questions just to really see where people's heart are. Are you really about forgiveness? Because I think as human nature, we're not forgiving. I mean, we're going to say it because it's the thing to say. But are you really going to forgive a man that drug your daughter through a fucking hotel room and did her like that and you saw it on video? Think about it. I'm not saying for anybody to go say what you're going to do, but three of us that are all fathers, are you really going to forgive that guy? That's all I was really asking people, even though you subscribe to something that says, hey, if he asks for forgiveness, this particular way, he's forgiven. So, that's why I asked, just to see how people felt. But nah, man, that turned into some more shit.
People are afraid to stand their ground and have an opinion because of the backlash of.
Had I said something about the homosexuality community, but if I had said something about the homosexuality community, it would have been okay. Yeah.
Hey, Mike,
I wouldn't give a fuck.
And there's nothing wrong with feeling that way. I mean, it's what you are.
And I agree with JB that the country's fucked up now because there's too many people with too many But what do you expect when you went and grabbed people from all different places? And I mean, what did they expect to happen? For it to all melt into one?
The melting pot.
Well, the only way for that to work is like what JB said earlier about having one global set of rules, one global identity. And that's something that the United States has historically failed to do. I mean, they've done it partially. They've taken small groups and made them into bigger groups. Like, earlier in this country's history, if you were Italian or Irish, you were an outcast. But,
they adapted them to the European race.
Yeah, they were
part of the white race.
Eventually absorbed. If
you
were
in the medical field in the police department,
something else, people have been absorbed. But at some point, you have to have a universal American identity, which can be a little bit of everything, but it has to be one thing.
Well, the democratic process doesn't allow that because there's a label of, Republic, Democrat.
Do we have a democratic process? I don't know if that's the case. I mean,
I know what you're talking about. He's not talking about the party. You mean being in this country, democracy?
That's split right there.
The moment
you want to get some, the people on the same page with an ideology of, being on board with each other for a common goal, but
you know what I do? Try to go to Norway. Try to go move over there. They won't let you over. You got to have a lot of money and you got to have a hell of a reason to be there. And that is one of the lowest crime rates in the country. And they're all on this one vision, this one centralized belief system. No, and that's the thing.
America allows too many different. It always has.
We're a country of immigrants and.
That's right.
And irritation.
Yeah, and they don't realize the people that come from the other country were mostly, at one point, they were the fucked up people. They were the criminals, they were this, and they dumped them over here. So
to have that many type of people under one roof, you have to be real and understand that there's going to be issues.
Yeah.
There's going to be different opinions, and a lot of people don't know how to accept that. So it creates friction.
Look at Fort Worth. Look at all the people just migrating from other states.
Mike.
Other cities.
I know we're about to wrap the show. Can you tell us what gay pride means to you and carry the show off and what you're going to do today and this month?
Closing argument.
Okay, am I doing a final thought?
Yeah, final thought.
Am I the Jerry Springer now?
You're it. Well,
Steve Harvey.
Let's go. Let's
final thought.
Take care of yourself and each other. Yeah, man, I'm probably go to a couple of Pride events for sure. So I'm down. I mean, I went last year and I had a good time, and It is what it is, you know? I mean, it's people being able to be themselves, be who they are, and celebrate who they are. And I can get on board with that. Now, does that mean that, you know, I'm just a part of that community? No. But I support everyone being happy and comfortable in their own skin. And that's what really it's all about. So, yeah, until next time, take care of yourself and each other. We're out. Right?
Yes.
That was it.
Well said.
Is that our close from now on?
That's our close.
The Gen X Talk podcast was brought to you by your mom. No one in their right mind will ever sponsor us, so please become a Patreon at Gen X Talk Pod. Don't forget to subscribe for new episodes each week. Biatch!